morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the Sorry It's True podcast. It's your boy ARP. We will continue on this. We are seeing the impact out there. This is crazy. How lucky are we to be in love with hip hop? How lucky are you to be a part of hip hop? This is what we live for. This is what we crave for. Ah, the clean, good, competitive energy, the big hip hop moments. We all need them. It shot the game through the roof. Think about what everybody is talking about right now. I looked around. It seemed like a damn hip hop emergency outside after this apology drop. You got podcasts and platforms that don't even really do hip hop like that. They reacting to this J. Cole joint. Every platform is like, J. Cole apology. We need to talk about this. Let's step away from sports and football free agency right now. Or Giannis just got injured and all this type of shit. And they like, yo, J. Cole apology. Code Red, we got to talk about this. The impact is massive. There's been a lot of people that weighed in on this, a lot of celebrities, a lot of rappers. I'm going to pull up one response in particular here. I got my Locks hat on, official by Godspeed. You know what I'm saying? I just got that. Found that the other day. Glad to get myself an official Locks hat. I want to find one in black if I get lucky. But speaking of the Locks, I'm going to react to Styles P reaction to J. Cole's response. And then I'm going to ask some questions and I'm going to give some answers to those questions here on this channel as well, because this is big. This is a moment in hip hop. This will be remembered and spoken about for years to come. The first thing I want to talk about real quick before I bring up Styles P's reaction. All right, I'm going to put it on the screen so y'all can read along with me. Big threes. This ain't nothing new. Big threes is always a thing of hip hop. We're always going to say the number one. We're always going to say top three, top five, top 10. Every era has it. And man, I'm telling you, y'all need to really, really enjoy this moment. Y'all need to enjoy it. If you go all the way back, you're going to have a big three or moments where they're kind of competing with each other and everybody's arguing and discussing. Is it Kool Moe Dee? Is it Kool G Rap? Is it Big Daddy Kane? Is it Rakim? I know I said four, but people formulate top threes out of that. Fast forward, one of the obvious ones, and argue all day about who was the best MCs, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. So then when Biggie passed away, we lost that. Of course, we lost a life. And of course, we lost a legend. That's more important. But we lost that conversation. Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas, we lost that. Even the Biggie and Tupac thing, we lost that. Jay-Z and Nas, they gave us that. Regardless of how it ended, they gave us that moment. We reference it forever. It is a part of history. Fast forward to today. The three titans is Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole. I see the question all across the internet. Has J. Cole been removed? My answer is yes. You want to know what I go to J. Cole for now, this point going forward? All I do is I just respect him as a rapper and as an artist. That's it. That's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a great NBA player and not being in the discussion with LeBron James and Michael Jordan. There's nothing wrong with that. I think KD wants to be in that discussion. You see how he reacts to certain things over the years, but he's not in that discussion. And that's okay. Because if you're KD, your legacy is set in stone. You the truth. But I know if you're KD, you probably don't like that. J. Cole, on the other hand, I think he's okay with it. I think he's fine with being removed from it. Even though this whole time, he was rapping, subliminals and saying, right now I feel like Muhammad Ali. But seems like he wants to be removed from it. The top of every food chain, they have these clashes. I've seen videos where they've asked Floyd Mayweather, you or Muhammad Ali? Me. You, Muhammad Ali, or Mike Tyson? Me. J. Cole removed himself. That question is answered. We must move on. There's not a today big three in that respect, unless you guys want to debate the stuff that technically we don't really care about. Because if we want to go into numbers and awards and album sales and turnouts at these arenas, we don't really give a shit about that when we're talking about the big three. We're talking about your song catalog, your album catalog, song for song, within those albums, the overall encompassing of that project, your singles, and your lyricism, your verses, how good you are, your artistry, period. Nobody's really factoring in your album sales. Nobody's saying this team in the NBA always fills the seats night around. So that, no, we don't do that. We don't care. So J. Cole removed himself. There's not a big three like that anymore. It just is what it is. Crazy how fast Kendrick Lamar's verse aged. We do that all the time on the internet, right? You see how we be like, yo, damn, this didn't age well. Somebody says something on the internet, somebody makes a comment, somebody clowns something, you make fun of somebody for something, and then it happens to you a year later and they bring it back. They be like, this didn't age well. Yo, this Kendrick verse, you know what it just did for me? It reminded me of the impact of a single bar or a single verse or the timing. That song like that now, Metro Boomin, Future, and Kendrick, I'm playing it now just that fast. It didn't take a month or a year. The song went up higher for me. The song is becoming historic to me. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not reaching. I'm not bullshitting. Like, I play that song now, and the vibe of it has increased. And now I've already listened to Kendrick's verse 20 times over, but now when I play it, and some because of J. Cole's apology, let's be real, but as you listen to it, and as we know that this is the big three unfolding in front of us, his verse, it gets elevated. It's like it's on adrenaline now. It's on 10 now. And we've seen stuff like this before. Speaking of big threes, there's been times when we've watched the top guys, scramble for the crown. When 50 Cent came on the scene, Get Rich or Die Trying, even Jay-Z, even his camp tells the story of him, Rockefeller, like, everybody, listen, get your shit off right now, because this 50 Cent monster's on the way, and we all gonna have to sit this wave out for a second. Get Rich or Die Trying, drops, Diamond, 10 million, all this. 50 Cent owns the world, owns the industry, putting cancel on people's careers and holds on people's careers, purposefully, directly and indirectly. Whether you a Ja Rule or you somebody else that just got to wait it out. But the J and the 50 thing has always been there, right? It's been there. To this day, 50 Cent takes shots at Jay-Z. Jay-Z's always been a little bit more methodical, a little bit more quiet, a little bit more reserved. But the impact of him coming out on stage and that one bar, I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent? That one line, it kind of killed the beef. And look how many years later we still talk about it. We still reference it. It's still right there in our memories. It's a classic moment. I think Kendrick, the big three nigga, it's just big me. I think he just created one of those. And I hope I'm not exaggerating to y'all. I really, really feel like his shit not only will age like fine wine, but it aged fast. J. Cole, the impact of his apology is massive. It is massive, whether we are really realizing that or not. It is massive, and I feel like what it also does to the position that Drake is in, because we're all sitting here like this, like, come on, Drake, where's the response? Where's the response? Everybody's waiting for it. We see him on tour. He says a little shots on stage or whatever. I don't know what the whatchamacallit thing is about. He shot at whatchamacallit, the picture comes down, he shoots at it or whatever. I don't know what that's about. Whatever. He's got beefs with he got enemies, got a lot of enemies. He got the thing with Rick Ross. Maybe that's over a woman, maybe because he followed or DM'd Rick Ross's ex-girl. Who knows with Drake? He's got enemies, though. He's got a lot of shit going on. But that's the price of being arguably the top guy. Arguably, or within the, not even arguably, within the top three. That's the price that comes with that. People will shoot at you, you will shoot at others, you have fall-ins, fallouts, all types of petty, all types of shit if you're walking around in Drake's shoes. But here's the thing. Back to hip-hop. There is a time limit. There is a time limit on Drake's response. There has to be. We did that to Meek, right? When Drake dropped back to back, we was like, yo, that puts the time pressure that much more on Meek to do something or to say something. There is a clock running. Now, if Drake doesn't respond now, is it going to change his career or anything like that? He's too big of an artist. Like his career is still going to be his career. He's still going to be a god in the industry. Okay, damn near untouchable. But I could see somebody like Drake having to take like petty shots a year from now with these little small indirects, and people would be like, when it was up, you wasn't there. They'll always put that asterisk next to anything that he does after this if he don't respond. I don't even think he has to win the next round. I just think he needs to come outside, be strong. He doesn't have to win right away. I think this could go multiple rounds. But the J. Cole apology even makes Drake's situation that much tougher to navigate. That much tougher to navigate. Because like we on stage together, we run around doing shows together and all this. You step out, you make this guy look like a god while he's beefing with us. While he's shooting at me too. You make him look like a god with your apology. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was Drake, I might shoot at Cole too. And not really shooting at him like we not friends no more, but just a little joint in there. Like, ain't no apologies from me. Just something like that, just to separate himself. Because as much as y'all like to call Drake soft, Drake has been in and out of these wars forever. we know him going back and forth with Common lyricists. You know what I'm saying? Pusha T and all. There was a little time where he had a little thing with Jay-Z, I think. You know what I'm saying? I think he wanted that crown, but he didn't have to fight for it really because Jay-Z said, I'm already up here and now I'm kind of moving off and I'm doing all this stuff over here. I'm not trying to drop an album and tour every year and do all this stuff like Drake is doing. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of moved in a semi lane where they didn't have to challenge each other at the perfect time. And I'm not saying he did it purposefully to get away from Drake. It's Jay. That's my goal. That's my personal goal. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think Drake had to continue the little stuff that was going on between him and Jay. You know what I'm saying? You can just look at it like a different era. This era now is him, Kendrick, and Cole. I don't have to do the Jay-Z thing. There was that period where I think he was close to it, though. We remember it. We remember some of the shots and some of the little subs from both of them. So the navigation of this now that Drake has to do because of J. Cole's apology, it's messed up, man, because he could have just came outside and said, all right, cool, I'm going to jab him back. I got to worry about how elevated now Kendrick is coming off of this damn verse. You know what, Future? Fuck you too. I mean, Future just put him in. I mean, him, Metro, them coming together like that. Oh, y'all, man. Like, I got to pull this Styles P thing up real quick for y'all. Hold on. Being that I got my locks hat on, let's keep the reactions going of the impact of J. Cole's apology. Okay, I got it up here. Shout out to the lock. Shout out to Styles P, a legend. One of the best hip hop groups ever, man. If you ask me, some of the best hip hop groups, you got the the Wu-Tangs, the Woos, of course. You got the Mobb Deeps, you got the Loxes, you got the Dog Pounds. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of Outkast, obviously. Goody Mob, why not? Do you expand that to the Dungeon family? Why not? Like, there's a lot of groups over the years. One of my favorites of all time, of course, is Slaughterhouse. You got three of the best lyricists ever coming together as a collective. Ridiculous. But the Lox is to be respected. And this right here, he's has mixed feelings, a mixed reaction. Well, let's go through it. Let's talk to Styles real quick. Styles P. The MC with the competitive nature part of me is upset at the young man, while the mental wellness take care of your spirit part of me is very proud of him. And then he puts these emojis. There's a little sarcasm there, maybe. You know, we're not going to act like them emojis don't mean something. Styles, cut that out. Looks like you lean a little bit more to one side than the other. I will give you 60-40. It's cool. But I do think that both sides is still genuine. But the emojis matter. All right, we use emojis to express emotions for a reason. He just confused the shit out of my frequencies. Emojis again. But I'm going to always go with the take care of your spirit and please yourself before you worry about pleasing others. Now, there's another piece of this I'm going to get to in a second. Let me just respond to how I feel about this right here. Very mature reaction from Styles P. Styles P ain't no young kid. He's one of our OG or one of the hip hop OGs in this game. Kind of, kind of expect this type of response from him, while still making sure that he adds the reference of the competitive side of me. You go 10, 15 years ago, Styles P ain't writing this shit. He is not writing this shit 10, 15 years ago. But it's true, man. And let me read the second half, and I could really, really make my last point about this reaction. Styles, my hypothesis is this is something that he never wanted to do, but the nature of the game and what people say you can dictate. I'm sorry, hold on. Of the game and what the people say can dictate your movement. Throwing jabs eventually leads to throwing power shots at some point, and that ain't his thing or something he wants to do with his fam. So he chose to bow out gracefully. Never knock a man for bowing out gracefully or choosing to protect his spirit, whether you agree or not. That took courage to do. I respect the high vibrations part of it all. I did want to see a lyrical war, though, that because I'm petty MC, but I salute the young king for being himself. He's fucking right. Styles is fucking right. It does take a lot of courage to do what J. Cole did. And that's why after this dies down of his apology, we got to leave J. Cole alone. And that's why I said we're just going to remove him from the three. Let him make music. Let's enjoy him as an artist. I don't want to see J. Cole talking certain shit anymore. I don't want to see him jabbing about the greatest anymore or any of that. He should leave that stuff alone. Just be great, right? But it did take courage to do what he did. I don't agree with it fully, but I respect it. I don't agree with it because once again, it wasn't no real shit going on. This is competition, and it's competition that Cole has been asking for and been alluding to and been writing bars about. And here it is. Here it is. That's my brother. I don't want to do this. I really, really do question, does J. Cole apologize if he would have dropped some ether and the whole culture would have responded talking about J. Cole? You are the best ever. You're better than everybody. There's no doubt, no question about nothing. Would he then come back out and say, wait, everybody, I don't want the crown, even though you just gave it to me. I don't want to be number one over Drake and Kendrick. I want to actually apologize instead. Nah, he got a mid-reaction. So I don't know. We'll never know. We will never know. But I do respect a graceful bow out. It does take a lot of courage to do that, because look at how many people are talking about this. The ego side of you don't even want to lose to a competitor, let alone in front of the world. It's not easy. I understand that. Styles P is right, but better for him to gracefully bow out. And now we just focus on Kendrick and Drake. Drake has a time limit here. It won't affect his career. He's too big of an artist for that. But it will affect the overall historic hip hop ranking. And I believe that is extremely important to Drake. I think that he, just like Kendrick and Cole for a time that we thought, has been volleying for that number one spot. And now that he's there or among being there, doesn't want to let it go. He said in an interview, right? I'm interested in seeing what happens as we turn the corner of this next era for us three, right? He's talking about longevity. He's talking about lasting out his competitors and still being that top guy. I don't care about the numbers when we're talking about this rap shit. Because if Drake comes out right now and doesn't respond in song format, but just comes with a bunch of accolades and just talks like through a video and says, this is how many albums I sold. This is how many trophies I got. This is how many awards I've won. This is how many arenas I filled. This is how many more tickets I sold than you. We're all going to go, what? Nigga, take that shit that away. No, we want the lyrics. That's what this is about. Number one, I do believe that Drake is fit for it. I do believe that this will not be one round only, like his next response, and then that's it. And then maybe no, I think this will continue for multiple joints, whether full all out direct songs, full all out direct verses, or full all out direct subliminals. But it's up, and it has to be at this point. Drake, we counting on you, man.